Kaiju number 8, episode 20, Destiny. We have some huge growth from some of our side characters. Kafka finally gets to have his apology, and we now have ghost samurais because why not? Let's talk about it. All right, guys, Brett here back for Geek Variants. Cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, Magic the Gathering, and more. We cover a lot of stuff. This time, Kaiju number 8, Destiny, which was more of a dialogue filled episode. There was some good action throughout, but was rather enjoyable. But you didn't come to hear me talk, you came to hear this guy talk. Your opinion on episode 20?
Reno's in good form. He had to make some adjustments, freaking based off last episode, and kind of swing around, and then having Iharu there to back him up and pretty much play kind of, scout and sniper for him. Like, there's a nice little setup, enabled him to use his powers and get his full on qualification to use the gear. I love the way that Haru freaking said, I got my own walls to come across. I got my own stuff to break down, and I'm gonna knock down these walls, and I'm gonna get to doing what I gotta do. So his suit power fluctuating all over the place and not being stable. He's jumping from like 22% to like 48% and whatever. Like, I love that we've got two characters that need to build up and get used to what's going on, and they're going to be working cohesively with each other. So they're going to be a great little tag team to kind of get their stuff done. So a lot of fun with this. I'm happy.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun because they're going from about 22% to 42% was where he maxed out at. It was 41 was what was initially reported. So there's a lot of room for growth, but as the captain said, is like, yeah, he's got the same skill set I do. He's just as unstable as I was, and he's just all over the place until he had his boy be like, look, tighten it up, batten it up. Let's go. Let's get this job done. You can handle this. It's like, I got my own issues. You got your own issues. Together, we don't got issues, though. And they were able to basically handle and hash things out. Unfortunately for that Hondru, who was turned into the one of the world's biggest icicles I've seen in a good long while. We got to see a lot of growth from our characters, which I'm really happy to see. That season 2 is more. While we have some big plot points that are being moved along, we're seeing a lot of personal growth, which would explain why we're seeing their power go up. Because personally, if you grow, usually you do a better job with everything around you. If you're not personally growing, you kind of hit this wall that our boy was talking about for Furuhashi, and then all of a sudden one day you get to power through when you get to your moment in time. As we learn more about the episode, we learn that the captain was very, very close with Hikari, and that if he stated, I don't think you're ready, he has tons of regrets about what happened to her. How do you think that's gonna play out for the rest of the season? If not, it's just gonna be something that's gonna be a nice little undertone to show how close everyone is because they're out here, fight monsters on the daily.
I think it's just another chance for him to continue to show support for and actually try to see the number six weapon succeed, because he was there when it failed. So he does feel a bit of guilt and remorse probably in that. Like, would she still be alive here if I would have said no, she wasn't ready, whatever the case would be. But he kind of knows in his heart of hearts that, he's got to let Reno kind of do his thing and really make that his own to continue to honor the legacy of Hikari, getting through that and handling that business, as well as he can kind of let some personal things go. It's kind of like therapy, I think, for him. He'll be able to kind of move on from that at some point in time. Or I think he's also a chance he's going to go down in the blaze of glory. He's going to be like, he'll be in a situation where it's like, yo, number six, like, don't hesitate, do the thing, no matter what happens to me, like, get it done. I believe in you. And kind of bam, he's going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, Ogata's really growing on us, and I've got to give him all the props in the world. He's done a fantastic job of just kind of stepping in as like the side captain who now we deeply respect. However, Kafka, upon hearing this news, is less than enthusiastic. He's worried about his boys, and he's worried that he's not ready, even though he immediately gets a punch directly into the top of your spine with someone who's very clearly like, look, idiot, you're not the only one fighting. We all have our reasons for doing this. Do not underestimate us, which Kafka continues to do throughout basically everything because he likes to overthink things for someone who's in like his 30s or 40s. You think he'd have it kind of figured out by now, but the elderly really just don't seem to get it in check at this moment in time. And he continues to get schooled by none other than Captain Hoshina. Go ahead and talk about the legendary bowl cut warrior himself.
I think it was nice that Hoshina was able to get his revenge on him by simply scaring the crap out of him and then setting up as like, yo, I realize your shortcomings and where we need to do. You're relying too much on your number eight abilities. It's like we got to toughen you up. Like we got to get you on point so that way you can get things done. And he should know this already because that's what he was doing initially to get himself when he was using Kaiju number eight, but he was still getting himself in shape and trying to do better when he was going through his training. So he needs to have that same mentality and focus going forward to get himself together. And with Hoshina personally training him, I think that he's definitely going to be able to go a lot further as far as his physical capabilities and be able to take number eight's capabilities to a whole new level because he'll be a lot faster, a lot stronger, and he can spend less time in Kaiju number eight state based off getting the job done more quickly and effectively. So I love that Hoshina's there for that and to make sure he's good. And he's like, look, I want you to take my spot next to the captain. Like, but you gotta freaking earn it. You gotta put in the freaking work to get there. Like, don't give me none of that mushy stuff. I want to hear none of that mushy stuff. Like, I want you to say, hey, do it. So he's like, we're gonna train. You attack me, I'm gonna school you every single time, which is what he did the entire time. He got attacked, he schooled Kafka real quick and was just like, yo, we got things to work on. So get ready to, put in the work because we're at a place which is hollowed ground. That shrine was one of the most, devastating attacks that Kaiju have performed on, their country. And a lot of people died there. So if you want to have your name, enshrined here, so with that, freaking, you got to put in the work to do what needs to be done to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. So Hoshina's a real one. He's for sure.
Yeah, Hoshino definitely is. He got Rock Lee energy, same bowl cut. He's a lot smarter than Rock Lee was, but again, he kind of showed up prominently in the second season of Naruto and just proceeded to whoop everybody's butt left, right, and center, and kind of whip people into shape and kind of give them their reality check, so to speak. So he's helping out Kafka in that regard in a huge way. But Kafka, of course, being a kaiju on hollowed ground for people who have defeated kaiju, looks like has stirred up some interesting spirits because the minute they finish their training after he gets absolutely lifted by an uppercut directly into your sternum, he turns around and there is what appears to be some kind of samurai ghost just chilling there, giving him the eyes of saying, I'm going to end you. But he's, of course, doesn't have any reaction to it other than just fear because I don't know how else you're supposed to react to people from the other world and directly seeing their relation to them, especially considering he is, in fact, a kaiju. And that is the one thing that they swore to defeat. So who knows if they accept him or if there's more to be had of this storyline because yeah, we get to deal with, I get to deal with supernatural involving Lord of Mysteries, and then I get to wake up bright and early and get some kaiju number eight, where now we have supernatural on top of just the regular kaiju that we were dealing with, as well as the Honju. So things got complicated quickly. I'm sure there's gonna be some adverse feelings about him being on that hollowed ground, but will he be able to overcome? Time will tell. Any final thoughts pertaining to this episode?
I think it's kind of alluding to his form. You look at number nine, who kind of has the hat. It reminds me of that Japanese hat for like the I won't say the Rogue Warriors or like the Ronin and stuff like that. They kind of wore that hat, so I wouldn't be surprised if Kafka's kind of form starts to take on kind of like that samurai plated armor at some point in time, and he learns a little, couple new abilities. I think that'd be really dope. But again, time will tell. We'll just have to wait and see what they come up with. But I'm excited to see what he's got and if he's going to be able to actually handle whatever that samurai is going to throw at him because that thing's just not a one off.
Yeah, it's going to be something interesting and some interesting foreshadowing. It looks like he's going to have standoff against the last Ronin. We'll see how he does. And obviously, with Hoshina in his corner, hopefully things will continue to get better. What will get better is if you hit the lovely subscribe button. It's free, greatly helps us out, as well as hitting the like button, sharing us around, hitting that hype button, all that other good YouTube stuff. You can find us on Spotify, you can find us on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. I'm Brent, alongside the man, the myth, the marvel. We'll see you tomorrow for some Gotcha Kuda. We'll see you then. Will it end? You may have to end it.